lecture at Dave's Business School, and I've been teaching most of my life. But then when Obamacare came in, my husband owns a physical therapy clinic, so I went over there to assist with that because it's pretty dramatic changes. And after I worked there for about 3 or 4 years, I realized how bad the healthcare system is getting. We have a lot of elderly people that are on a lot of medication that don't have the vitamin absorption that they need. So they're getting sick and getting on more medications over just because they're not getting the vitamins that they need. So I started juicing myself for my own health because I'm a diabetic type 2, and it helps me control my sugar without having to take insulin. So I started that juicing, and then I thought, we need something like this here, because I went to Jamba Juice one day, and they don't really have juices, they have smoothies, and it just wasn't what I needed, because I needed green juices. I can't have a lot of sugars in my juices. So I thought we need to do this. So I started investigating it. I went to the Small Business Association, which is funny because I have a PhD in business and I have a CPA background. But they're really helpful, and they're the ones that will tell you, no, that's not a good idea, yes, it's a good idea, and so forth. So we worked with them for a while, and then we started this about a year ago. We started construction renovation on it in August. And the main purpose is to make sure that people can take care of their own health and be more responsible for their own health, because the healthcare system, in my opinion, is not going to be there for me when I need it, and I don't think it will be there unless something changes, which I think it will, when y'all need it. And so that's one of the reasons we started this. And then along the way, we had all this space out here that we couldn't expand on because of the city zoning rules. And we realized that this would be a great place for us to show people how they can grow organic produce, because we also believe in organic produce for 2 reasons. If you're going to juice it and remove the pulp from it, you're going to get a quick uptake of vitamins, minerals, and live enzymes since it's fresh, but you're also going to get any of the herbicides and pesticide residue that's on there. And most people think you can wipe it off, but you can't. It's in the apple. Apples are number 1, so I pay twice as much for apples in my juices as anybody else because they're organic. But because you're juicing it, you want to have the maximum amount of vitamins, the best produce, local produce. We get a lot of things from County Farms. We buy locally. Apples don't come from Texas, but we buy them from Farm Patch, so it's a local person, so we do try to emphasize local. We also use the urban garden out here for a relaxation spot for students. It's free Wi-Fi. You can just veg between classes. We use it for class and education, because one of the things I'm trying to do is show people you can be responsible for the environment, do sustainable practices, and also grow your own produce, as I mentioned. So we have kids come out here so that they know where kale comes from, where does the tomato come from, where does an olive come from, where does an orange come from, and a lot of them are surprised, because they get it from the grocery store and they don't know how to grow it. One of our other parts of our mission is being responsible in terms of our waste and our electricity usage and so forth. So last year we applied for the Green Restaurant Association, and we just literally got it. So we're a green restaurant. You can find us on dinegreen.com. We're one of 10 in Texas, and certainly only the only one in 100 miles. But we're also a 3-star. We're going to keep trying to increase that, and you increase it by all of our cups, straws, lids, napkins. Everything is compostable. All of our pulp from our juicing goes to County Farms for their composting. We have a very small carbon footprint, and that's because it's possible to do that. Hopefully more restaurants in town will be encouraged to do that as well. The biggest sourcing problem I have, because everything we do is fresh produce, fresh fruits and vegetables, even the stuff that we put in the smoothies that's frozen, we're processing that. So we get everything fresh, process it, and either freeze it or use it fresh for the juices and smoothies, and then also the foods that we serve. The biggest problem I have, I believe, would be space. So I can't buy in bulk for 2 reasons, actually. One is space, but the other is cost, based on who does sell bulk. I don't have any places with 400 square foot building. I have 1,200 square feet outside, but because of the city's zoning limitations, I don't have the ability to build something out there or add on to this to have some storage facility. So I'm very, very cramped in terms of being able to buy cases of something and then store it. But you can buy cases of things, but in the summer it still has to be refrigerated. It can be celery, carrots, apples, oranges, lemon, limes. They all have to be refrigerated. Now, I buy much of my bulk produce right now from Farm Patch because they work with me, and that's a benefit of local businesses. But They also give me good prices. We talked about that. I've explained we have some unusual situations going on, but they're giving me good prices. Plus, they will, if I need to, like if I have a big event coming and I'm going to need 4 or 5 cases of each vegetable fruit to be used, they'll let me store some in their cold storage area as I'm processing it, but it's not something I can do on a regular basis because we use things so quickly. You'd be surprised if I do one of my cleanses, which is 96 ounces of juice a day. I go through 2 full bins of celery, a whole bin of kale, 5 or 6 lemons and limes. I mean, there's a lot of produce that goes into a juice because you're removing the insoluble fiber from it. And so there's a tremendous amount of bulk going into the business that I have. So that's my biggest one. The second one is I'm a new business in my first year business, and we are doing something that's not really common in College Station, Bryan and College Station. It's much more common in Austin, Dallas, Houston, New York, California. But my profit margins had to be lower because people, even today, some people come in and they're sensitive to the prices, which I understand. But we're using local, organic produce. At least we guarantee it for the Dirty Dozen, which is the environmental working groups, most heavily sprayed fruits and vegetables, which is, in essence, honestly, all the popular things, anything you're going to juice or put in a smoothie, because they know they want to get the most production out of it, so they overspray it. So we really, what I have to do, and this has taken me a tremendous amount of time, is calling all these distributors, calling people, trying to get good prices, trying to get them to deliver more than once a week instead of all at once. And it just wasn't possible. I talked to Brothers, I talked to Cisco, I talked to several others initially, are the ones that bring things in. And it just wasn't working out. They couldn't work with me because it's more of a corporate issue. So I really spend a lot of time going to HEB, primarily HEB, Farm Patch, and then Kroger's, and then of course Valley Farms supplies me with a lot of what I need in terms of greens. And then we also have had to grow things outside. So I'm growing more kale because we go through a lot of kale. Kale has to be organic because of the type of chemicals they're spraying on it. So right now I can make 2 trips a day. I'm definitely going every week. I mean, every day I'm going to get something. We have a tiny storage here, so I can store so many things of organic peanut butter, but that's it. I can't have cases of it anyway. 2 reasons. One, because of our storage issues, but even more importantly, because we can't cook anything here because we have to have a 20-gallon grease trap to be able to cook. And this is a 400 square foot building, as I mentioned, so we don't have the place for a grease trap. So we were thinking of getting a food truck because we definitely have the space and bringing it back there. That would solve our cooking issue. And so we can make minor things like cookies and breads and things like that. I mean, breakfast breads. But it also gives us more space in terms of storage of juices for refrigeration and freezers. Because most of the food trucks that we're looking at have refrigeration, freezers, and cooking.